Hey everyone, this is Martin with Drumbuds. Welcome to my channel, and today we're actually going to take apart a GoPro Hero 11. So this one is the new one that just came out last month. So it is exactly like taking apart the GoPro 9 and the GoPro 10. They're exactly the same, built the same way. So we're just going to go into it, and you can see what your GoPro Hero 11 looks like on the inside, which is very similar. One thing I recommend is you install GoPro Labs in the camera before you take it apart. GoPro Labs give you more options and more control of your camera, and also it comes with the ability to have a QR code. I don't know if you can see it here. Let's right there. And so what you do is you face the QR code to the camera and you can change settings. It's great on small drones, especially if you don't have time to hook up to your Bluetooth on your phone, on your device, to change settings in the camera. You can just scan the code quickly and it'll change the settings. And then it'll show you on the front screen that it changed the settings. And then it's also gonna blink the lights, depending how far you take it apart and what you put onto the naked GoPro case. So the update is pretty easy. I'll put a link to get GoPro Labs below in the description. All you do is you download the zip file, and then you open it. You get an update folder. You put the update folder on an empty SD card, and all you do is put the SD card on the GoPro. And then when you power it on, let's see, there we go. When you power it on, it's going to start updating automatically. There we go. And all you do is wait for the updates to finish. And then when that's done, you're ready to take apart your GoPro. So it doesn't take too long to update usually. And then it lets you know once it's updated. So you're going to see that on the back screen, and then you're going to see it on the front screen also. And so you can always update after you take apart the camera. The only thing you got to make sure is you connect your battery case back to the main board, and sometimes you need your back screen to be able to control things, but sometimes you don't. So, but there you go. Now it says complete. So all we got to do is turn it off and take it apart. So taking it apart is easy. You remove everything. Now I think I pressed record by accident. Oh yeah, look at that. It tells you right here. Firmware Lab is on there. Perfect. Let me turn that off. So I think I pressed this guy. So you take everything off the GoPro first. So take out the battery. GoPro 11 comes with their extended batteries in it. It's very nice. And then don't forget to take out the SD card, because if you don't take out the SD card, when you go to take out the battery case, it actually gonna, and then also going to take out the main board, it's gonna get in the way. So what I recommend you do first is you pop this off right here. That's just the door, and you can clip it back on. It's pretty easy. So I'm sure if you had many GoPros, you accidentally pop that off. The other one is you can take this off, but I don't. I leave it on until I get the sensor out, because I don't want to scratch the lens when I'm taking it apart, because I'll be using a few sharp tools. So if I accidentally scratch the lens, then you kind of ruin the whole GoPro. So that's why I leave that on. And so what you do is you heat up around the edge, because the screen right here is, the glue is on the edge of the screen all the way around. So you just have to heat it up. And then once it's hot, you use a blade. What I use is to make sure the blade doesn't go too far in. And use a blade right in that seam. There's a seam that goes all the way around here. And then you jam that in there. So if you do it right now, it's going to be really hard to push it in through the glue. And you risk scratching the screen when you take it apart. So, because I always save the screen. It's a good backup if I need one. And then the other thing is we're going to pop this off. So we'll pop this off right now, just so it's done. I use an electric screwdriver, but I also have a regular one, because sometimes those are a little too twitchy. Perfecto. Pop that off. And this is it right here. Then I'm just going to put all the parts over here so I can save them. And then what I do next is I use a heat gun just to heat up the corner. So this part I'll fast forward a little bit just because it's noisy and it takes a little bit. But that's the longest part of taking apart the GoPro, except for the front screen. And then before I get going, just so you know, when you cut all the way around, you're gonna get to this metal piece here. And so their metal piece actually protrude through where the glue is. So you're actually gonna hit it with your blade when you come around here. So you have to make sure you kind of work your blade around this spot and then pry it off. So when you lift the screen, you don't crack your screen. It comes off pretty easily. So here we go. See, it goes in like butter. And all you do is you slowly, almost like an old can opener, you slowly work your way around. Don't try pulling the blade. Don't pull the blade towards you like this, because if it slips, you cut yourself. So I just push in. So I push in, I move it over, push in, move it over, push in. You do that until it has a hard time, like here, and then you start hitting it up again. So as you can see, I'm cutting along the seam here. So you can see it's lifting already a little bit, so that's a good thing. That means we actually got cut through the glue properly. So this is getting a bit hard in this corner, so I'm going to start with that corner. So here you're going to start hitting that metal piece here. So there we go. Looks like it popped all the way around. So now what you do with the blade, you quickly do run all the way through, make sure it's not binding anywhere. Perfect. So when you lift this off, yeah, so there's a little bit of glue here, but we'll pop it open. There we go. So you have a little bit of glue here, and it's actually mostly those black things here. So if you peel them off, now you're good to go. So now that your screen is off, all we're gonna do is just unplug it. So to unplug it, I use these guys, and the way I do it is I just go underneath it a little bit and just pop it over. There we go, and it pops right out. Perfect. So now this is your screen. And so this piece that's right here, at the end we can take it off, hook it back up to the screen, and you can use the screen as a backup for whatever you want. And then, so all we do from here is start taking apart pretty much everything you see, every screw you see. So for we're gonna remove this first, which is the battery tray. So the battery tray has a screw here, but it also has, you see how there's a hole here? So it has a screw here, also has a screw at the end. That's the only 3 screws it's got, and they're Phillips. So I'm just gonna reach over to my Phillips screwdrivers and see which one fits best in here. Oh, this one is not that good. Let's see, what if I do this one? No, this one is not very good. I'm going to try this one here. Yeah, this one's very good. So this one is just a regular Phillips, kind of hard to see. Right there. I don't know if there's a size on here. So I'm going to switch the tips. I'm going to unscrew this guy. Perfect. So this is going to go right there. And then let's see if this one is long enough to reach. It is not. So last time I used, where is the one that I used last time? Oh yes, I know what I used last time. Hold on. It's actually my watch screwdrivers. Use one of these guys. So, although this one will be a bit big. Oh no. So now you can see, you can reach through and see where it is right here. And undo this one. Perfect. And then the last one's the same way. I'm gonna go through here, in here, and you can see way in the bottom there. Let's see if I can use a little flashlight to shine down there. See, right at the bottom there. I'm just gonna undo it. And then this should just pop right out. So it comes straight out. There is a piece here, as you can see right here, that's connecting it. If you cut that a little bit here, perfect. That should come out there. So if you put a screwdriver on the inside, see if I can do it again. Right, like this way. So you put a screwdriver in and you press in the center, the whole thing's gonna pop up. Perfect. And then so in the back of it, it actually this is your screen. So it unplugged your, this is your screen here, and then you also have the this is your power. So if you want to update it, you hook that up back to the board, and you hook up your screen back to the board, and then that's how you can update your naked GoPro. So with this, how you remove this is very slowly, because you don't want to bend the connectors there. So we're gonna remove that very carefully there. And so now that's how I connect this back to the screen. I'll do that at the end, but I put these guys back together like this, and then you use your screen whenever you want. So this is put aside. Perfect. So now we gotta start removing. Oh, there's a screw in there. Perfect. We're gonna start removing pretty much everything. So we're gonna start with this piece here. This is a USB-C charger, so we have to remove that. You also have your over here, this piece here just holds your camera connector in place. So it has a screw down here that you'll have to remove. So, and then it also has a screw down in the corner here. So here and here, and then this piece should come out right away. So let's do this one first. Where is the? See if that fits in there. It does. Oops. Perfect. So it doesn't fit in there. So I'll use this guy again. It's a fairly long screw, well not fairly long, but it's longer than the other ones. I see everything comes out all at once. Perfect. So if you don't want to pull straight up, you kind of turn it and it's going to come all together. So that just makes sure your ribbon from your sensor doesn't come off the board when you do your action shots. So this one is off. And then you also have this one here, which I believe, I'm not sure what this one is. So we're gonna undo this guy here. So this one is actually, if you look closely at this here, it's actually one of these guys. So it is a T5. Very small. So let's see if I can get it from here. Oh, it's actually smaller than a T5. Is it? Oh, let's try smaller. T3. Yeah, it's a T3. Perfect. So this screwdriver is very fat, so it makes it put in an angle. So I'm going to use this screwdriver that extends to be able to get right in there and undo this screw here. Perfect. And then this last screw here is quite at an angle also. See if I can get it started like this. Unless I pop the button, this button off. Well, let's undo these ones first. Right, so I want to take this off, but I have to take the sensor off. So the sensor off is not too hard to do. There is 3 screws to get here. So one here, and then you also have one here, but it's actually way in a dark spot right in there. So you actually have 3 screws in there. One that holds the metal casing inside, one that holds the main board, and one that actually holds the sensor, but it's actually a black screw. So this one is silver, right in the bottom here, but that one is actually a black screw. And then you also have a third one underneath the sensor right there, the ribbon. So on the ribbon you have to be careful not to break the ribbon. So when I start with this one, that looks like a, where is the T? Let's see. Perfect. So that's a T5. And now you have to go for the ones, actually the black one way in the bottom there. Let's see if it'll reach. Where is it? Is it a different size? Could be. Let's have a better look with a flashlight. No, it's just way deep in there, so I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of very right down there. So let's try this again. Just right there. I think I need something a little bit better to get in there. So let's try this maybe. What I'm gonna do, this is magnetic, but it's hitting the lip of the screwdriver. So I'm gonna put something inside here, just so this sticks out more. There, now it caught. Perfect. Let's see if I can remove it. There. So you see, it's actually a black screw. Oops. Instead of a silver one. So this one here, yeah, it's actually a black screw instead of being the silver one. So it's harder to see. And the last one is actually under the sensor. So you have to pop the ribbon, and you have to be careful not to break it when you... There we go, ribbon popped. Good, good, good. And so you have to bring it over the top. Like this. There we go. Perfect. If you look underneath there, it'll be hard to see now. But that's what the last one is. Right down there. Let's see if we can see it. Right down there, the shiny spot right there. That's the last one here. So we're gonna remove our little contraption. So it should fit. Let's see if it'll fit. It does fit. Perfect. Perfect. Now we take out the last one here. And now if you wiggle this, it should pop out. So it's going to be tricky to pop it out because it actually has a little bit of glue around the sensor. But if you wiggle it, so you wiggle left and right, back and forth, eventually it'll pop. There we go. Perfect. Now you have your sensor. Make sure you don't scratch it or anything. So I usually set it aside where I'm not going to damage it or anything. So here, let's see here. Let's see. Perfect. And I can keep going with this thing. So one more screw here. And it'll pop out. Perfect. Now this should come. There we go. So there's a little plug right here. So we're gonna pop that out. There we go. So I believe that's your GPS. And that's also your record button. So if you want to do your own things with it, like, you can. So now what I can do is I can remove this thing. I don't know if we can remove it or not. Maybe not. That'll be cool. If we could remove it. Just to get through to this one in the bottom. So close. So let's see, can I remove this thing? So last time I didn't remove it. So let's see. Oh, I guess it's glued into the case. There we go. There. Now we can grab this, and we can extend it. Let's see if I can extend it a little bit more there. And then we can go right in there, right to this guy right here. Perfect. So this also has another plug right there. So these plugs, always be careful when you pop them off. What I do is I don't pry against the board, like I don't go like this. I actually just go underneath and just lift. There we go. So this should come out pretty easily. So this is your USB charger, and that's the cable for it. Now you also have your USB. The reason you want to remove the USB plug is because there's a screw right there for the board. But be careful when you take this off. What people don't always see with this is that right here is a little, I don't know what it's, a diode, I guess. And then it's common when people take Decase the GoPro, they knock it off. So I never had that before. I never actually did that, so I don't know how it affects it, but that's the catch. So to get this guy out, there. So you have to, because there's a lip right here. So this lip right here, you have to like move it back. So all you do is you move it back and then it pops out. And then there's another plug. So that plug here, be careful with this one. This is your front screen plug. So you don't want to run that one because you're going to need it for when you put your Decase GoPro. But if you look behind there, there's your last screw. So there's a screw here. There is no screw here. We took it already. We took that one already. There's one here, and we took the other ones out. So there's a few more plugs here. So there's this plug here. I think it's a microphone. No, or maybe it's some kind of, maybe it's the beeper that beeps when you give your settings. So that's same thing with this one. Pops out. Usually pops from the way the wires come into it. So let's see. There we go. And then you have another plug here. I'm gonna pop this one out, and there's a third one here. I'm gonna pop that one out. Perfect. So all these plugs are off. You go all the way around, make sure everything is off. It's got this piece of plastic here. I'm gonna pop that off. And then we're gonna undo the last few screws. I'll use this one because the other one's probably too fat to fit. So I'm gonna do this one here. Perfect. And then now we're gonna do that one here. So this is kind of magnetic here. So then we're gonna do the last one right here in the corner. Perfect. Oops. So now this board is going to be loose. If you just pull it with your finger, it should move easily. Oh, maybe we forgot a screw. Let's double check. And then there. And then you just wiggle it out. Just be careful when you wiggle it out. Make sure you don't get it caught anywhere or bend it or anything. There, and that's the main board of your GoPro. So that's the two main things you need. Oh, that's why it was hard to pop out. There's a double-sided tape right here. So yeah, but then once that pops, it comes out really easy. So we need this part. We're going to put next to the lens. And now the last piece we need is this screen. So this screen is actually attached to this metal piece you see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all the little screws to remove all the stuff around here, and that piece actually slides out. I do have a old GoPro 10, yeah, right there. So once you remove all the thing, that piece just slides out like this. And then once you slide it out, you flip it over and your screen is there. So now you have to remove all the screws, but also it has plastic rivets. You see this one here, and then it also has some right here and right here. And so you do have to cut them off, and then this will come out eventually. So this part, you have to be patient with it. So I do the screws first, and then I do the rivets last. So there shouldn't be that many screws. I see one here. And it is a T4. So I believe T4 is always used. I think the T3 was too small, that's why I wrecked the tip. So there's a screw here. Let's see here. I don't see any screws here. I don't see any screws there. Perfect. So this right here should just pop out from what I remember. Yeah, like this. So that's just glued to the side. So if you just pry it out, it'll come out eventually. There. Or not. There, that comes out. Well, I get to see the inside of how that works. There's a tiny magnet. Perfect. So now we got this done. We're gonna remove all of the other stuff. So what is this here? So I use a side cutter for the ones on the edges here, and you just chew away at the plastic that sticks out. Let's see if I can show. It's a bit tricky. Right here. There. So now you get that little plastic rivet. That's just the top of it. Then we do the same thing for this one here. Perfect. And just look around. These ones on the side also have plastic rivets, so if you want to remove them, you can. Let's see if we can pop this guy out. There we go. See, this one is still tied to a plastic rivet that's right here. So let's see if we can sneak in there and cut the, oh no, there we go. Yeah, so the more stuff you can get out of the way, the easier that piece is slide out. So now we got everything removed. Oh, there's a plastic rivet in that corner here. So I don't know if you can see right there. This is it right here. So I'm going to sneak in there and just cut the top off of it. So that's it didn't cut very well, so let's try it again from a different angle. There we go. And then I believe this one in the center also has to be cut. No, it does not. Okay, so now we can start working this thing slowly out of here. So what I do is I grab it here and I just wiggle it back and forth. Perfect. And so it'll bind places, and then you just find out where it binds and remove it. So let's see if there is something here. Oh no, that's loose. That's the microphone thing. Just trying to see if I forgot anything. Oh, see this rivet here, which is hard to see. There's this rivet here that's not very clean cut. Okay, hold on. Let me clean my hands for a little bit. All right, so yeah, I'm assuming those two rivets are the one that's giving me a hard time. So we'll just keep wiggling. It'll come out eventually. There. Perfect. There we go. Now we got it off. And you can see there's a screen. So now what we're going to do is remove the screen. So here's a catch for the screen, is that it's very fragile. So to get the screen off without wrecking it, the goal is actually what I use is I put some isopropylene alcohol or rubbing alcohol. And what you do is you put it, let me just clean up all my tools here. You put it all the way around and you let it sit for a bit. So it'll loosen off the glue, so when you go to lift it off, the screen lifts off. Because if you don't do that, the first time I took apart a GoPro 8, I think it was, when I peeled that off, the whole screen fell apart. There's different layers of the screen, and then it all fell apart. And so that wasn't very cool. So that's the trick I've learned, is to put a bunch of this stuff here. And you just put it all the way around. So now the downfall in doing this is that it also loses off the glue that keeps the screen together. So that's why you have to be extra careful when you do this. You know what I do is just wait. Just put it there, add more, whoops. And then we're gonna put a little bit more here. And that's what I do. And you just be patient, and you just wait. Put a little bit more. Perfect. And then you can try. So be very careful when you try. You just try a corner, see how it lifts. You can see there's a little bit of movement on this side. We're going to add a bit more. I just realized my tweezers are not very straight. They're very crooked. See if we can straighten it over quickly. There we go. Cool, let's put a bit more. Then we're going to try it one more time. Oh, there we go. It moved. Awesome. So when it moves, all you do is you don't rush it, because it's tempting to rush it even more when it moves. So what I usually do is that's when I add more. So what you do is you pry it a little bit where it moved there, and you just add a bunch in there to help it get into the glue that's in the back. So now let's see if I can do this here. Face the light so we can see. I'm gonna put a little bit. Perfect. You put some glue, and then you see, like, the more you add alcohol, the more it'll prop open, and you can hear the glue kind of separate slowly. So you put some pressure on it and you wait. and then you add more of this. So I'm going to add a bit more of this right here. And then it'll fall out on its own once you got it. Perfect. There we go. You just slowly but surely get it to come off. There we go. Now it's off. And now you have yourself a GoPro 11 screen. So now you just let it dry. And then it's got all this glue in the back. There we go. We're going to set it aside to dry. What we're going to do is clean up the mess a little bit. And then we're going to install it into the case. So I have a paper towels here usually, but I don't know why it just disappeared on me. So here's the three pieces you have. We have your sensor, we have the board, and then we have the screen. And the three pieces we're actually going to put into the case. So now I have the case right here. I got this one from Rotor Village, and this is just the case. Okay, it's gonna go in the garbage. Perfect. So you got all your screws, get your case and the screen. So very simple stuff. And then over here we have the BEC. So they are usually sold separately. So remember that when you order it, make sure it's sold separately. It's easy to know is that the case is very cheap and the BEC is not as cheap. So if your case is expensive, it means it comes with the your BEC, and it's got to make sure it's a NamelessRC, because it's a NamelessRC case. You got to make sure it's also a NamelessRC BEC. So the BEC comes two pieces. One is the actual electronics, and then the other one is the ribbon cable. So we have the ribbon cable. It also comes with a plug to plug in right here to the BEC. And this one comes with a two-way sticky tape. So the way it works is we're gonna put everything in a case. So the first thing you do is actually you put your screen on first, because then you have to put your board and you have to clip your screen to the board. And then once the board is in there, oh, I believe the lens goes in second. So once your lens is in and your screen is in, then the board goes in. The board is last. So this one has a screw for 3 screws for this, and then where's the board? And then so when you have the board like this, the BEC is going to actually two-way tape on top of your SD card slot. So yeah, so let's put it together. So, and as you can see, you have your different plugs in here. Right here, right here, right here, and they're gonna go on the board here. So it's gonna flip this way, and then they're gonna go like this. So I'm not gonna clip it in just yet, just to kind of show you. One goes here, one goes there, one goes there. And so this piece here will bend over and go into your BEC. So, but first of all, we're going to put the screen. So the screen goes in the front. So they go like this. So what you have to do is you have to put your plug through the case. That's why it goes in first. And once you do that, you put the screen on. And then the screen goes right here. And it just clips in. So there's little holes here. trying to get this guy to clip in. It's not clipping in. Okay, buddy. Oh, there's one on top too. There, there, and there. One last clip. So let's see if I can help it along by just, there we go. So now your screen is in there, and then I clean it, and then that's it. So now you see the plug sticks out here. And then so now when it comes to the screws, you got the lithium screws, and you got to make sure you got the right ones. And you also have, so the way it works is when your board is on here, some of the screws that goes through the board here, they actually also go through the case. So for example, if you put your, so just try it without the lens on. If you put your case on, you see like this screw, which one is it? There's one of them that goes through the case. Yeah, so this one. So this screw here goes through the case. So you're not going to put a screw when you put it together. And then this screw also in the corner here, also right here goes, oops, through the case. So we're not going to put a screw there. And I believe the bottom corner also. So let's have a look here. Yes, and so this one here, oh no, this one will put a screw on this one. So actually we're not going to put a screw on this one, because then your thing goes on top, your on the plug for the screen. So we're not going to put a screw there. So let's put the lens first. Perfect. And so the lens has tiny screws. It should be these ones here. So this is your lens screws and also your board screws. And the long ones is your case screws. So this is just something like this. So we're gonna put one here for this here, perfect. And then for the board, we're gonna put one here. On this corner of the sensor. Perfect. Perfect. Oops. And then the last one is going to be, and then so same thing, when you bend the ribbon back, be careful not to break it, because then you ruin your sensor. So this screw might go a little bit in an angle, but it never bothered me that it goes in an angle, because I don't want to break this cable. So now your sensor is on securely. We're going to drop the board in there. The board just slides under there, and in here, and then that there. Perfect. So don't put your sensor ribbon in first, because you actually have to run this ribbon, the long part of this ribbon. It's going to have to run underneath the ribbon for the sensor. So we can put on our screen sensor. So the way you do those is you don't press them hard, because it's not going to, actually we could put a screw here and that would just go over the screw. So let's try that. No, it's not. Oh, it's not designed for it. Okay. So the way we're going to put this in there is you line it up. You can feel it when it's lined up. It'll stop moving. So you kind of put it on top, and you have to really look at it, and then you slowly press, and there's a snap, and that's how you know it's in. So now I'm going to double check this. We decided that, oops, this one and this one are going to go through the case, and the rest are not. So perfect. So you should have just enough for this case. So we're going to put one here. Oops. So I don't put them tight right away, because I want a ball to move a bit in case I have to line up other screws. So we're going to put one on the bottom here. Perfect. Now, as you can see here, this one does not have a screw that goes through this one here, but it does have one that goes here by the sensor. Perfect. And then I think that's it. So we're going to tighten them up. So you go until it stops, but you don't put too much pressure on it because you don't want to bend the board either and damage it. Perfect. So now we're going to put our ribbons for the BEC. Now those don't line up perfectly every time because I've done this before and then it's always the same. They're not quite perfect. So you start with one and slowly work your way. So we're going to move this one here. Perfecto. So this one's going to go right here. And then this one's going to go over. So what I do is I try my best to line them up. And then once they're lined up, then I can try to clip them in. So let's see if this one is lined up. No, this one is not lined up. There. Okay, I got this one in. Then we gotta get this one in. So as you can see, I know it's hard to see, but it doesn't quite line up perfectly. You have to mess with it a little bit. Is it lined up good? There, I clicked. So you see it's not lined up, so it's causing it to bulge. It's not perfect. And then the last one is this one. This one is also not perfect. So it'll have a little bit of a bulge. Oops. Perfect. So you see this one also has a bulge here. And then that one has a bulge, so it's not too perfect. But this piece here is going to flip over into the BEC. But now what we get to do, we get to put the plug for the sensor. So this one is a bit interesting to do. I usually grab it from the side and line it up first like this, and then do your best to line it up. There, it clicked in, perfect. So when it clicks in, it means it's lined up. So now the BEC is gonna glue right on here. And what you do is you wanna see how this is here. You wanna line that up to this. So, and then one thing people don't always pay attention is, can we see it here? Yeah, so these clips here, they press in, and that's how you lock it in, and then they pop out, and that's how you unlock the strip that's inside there. So we're going to remove the tape. Oh, there it started. There we go. And then I'm going to make sure that this piece here lines up with this guy. So we're going to eyeball it here to be about there. Perfect. So if you don't get it right, oh no, it popped out. Okay, now I got to put this guy back in. So this got 3 stubs and 3 stubs here, so you tuck it in there, and that's how you know you're good. So now we're gonna do that part where we pop this out and we bend this over in here, and you push it in as far as it'll go. Looks like this is it, and then we're gonna lock it in place. And now you just do a quick tug test. Yeah, okay, it's in good. Perfect. So now we're gonna close the case. And then we use the long screws to close the case. So we have 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Oh, it's a lot of long screws here. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess we got a spare one. So these ones I'm going to use this just because it's going to be a little faster. Okay, line that up. Perfect. And I'm going to do the opposite one just to line things up. So you can almost see it go in here. Perfect. And then you just work your way around. Perfect. And now, Decase GoPro is all assembled. So now we have to test it, make sure it works. So here's what we're going to do. For this one, I use this plug here. I'm just going to plug that in. So let's undo this plug. Perfect. There we go. Perfect. So the yellow one is record, black is ground, red is power. We're going to sneak it in there like this. So usually you're going to need tweezers to push it all the way in. Perfect. It's not in all the way, but maybe I can push it a little bit more. And now with the little battery, we have to power it on, make sure it works. Aha! It is not working. Full frame. There we go. Forgot the SD card. Perfect. Okay, let's turn it off. Okay, we can do a recording. Oops. Powering off. Perfect. So that works. There we go. So that's how we make it work. Even though there's probably a better way to do this, but that's how I've always tested my GoPros. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. It feels good when you know it works at the end. So if you have any questions, any comments or anything, then just feel free to put it below. And then I'll put the links on everything I got. So where to get the GoPro Labs, get the case, BEC, where I got it from. And then, yeah, so thank you very much for tagging along. And then we'll see you guys in the next video.